What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. I am P. Aguilar, and I feel like I look a little rough around the edges today. I don't know what maybe it's the lighting. They say that lighting, if you have better lighting, it makes you more flattering. I don't know if that's what it is. Let's try a little something. Let me see. What the? Val? What in the hell? I don't think this is the right lighting. Let me just try this one more time. Wow. They were right. I feel like I look 10 times younger. Light does work. What's up, guys? Welcome to the first ever Tuesday Tips. And I'm so pumped about this episode. I'm happy you're here with me. Today, I'm gonna give you 7 tips on how to survive your very first programming language. This is for beginner coders or even coders that have been studying for 6 months and they're struggling and they need some help and some guidance. Just for a little background, I went to a coding boot camp and it was a lot of work. I worked 8 to 5 and Monday through Friday, and then I got out, hung out with the kids, and then once they went to bed, I worked again till 2 in the morning, and I got burnt out so bad. I got to the point where I was over it towards the end of the boot camp, and so I kind of thought of these 7 tips of how to avoid that, how to survive your very first programming language by avoiding mistakes that I made. So let's get into number 1 right now. Tip number 1, make a plan. Stick to that plan. So look at the material that you're studying, whether it's a course online or it's a book that you're studying, and then map out your plan of attack. You're gonna learn variables and types this day, or primitive types, blah blah blah. You're gonna learn functions on this day. You can group 2, but I wouldn't go and do a bunch at once. Just have a plan and stick to it, and keep the plan where it's easily to take in the information. You don't want to study 4 units in one sitting because you're not going to remember all 4 of those units. Trust me. So the very first thing to learning anything is to have a plan and stick with that plan. That's tip number 1. Tip number 2, create a schedule. And that goes along with the plan, but when I say create a schedule, map out the time that you are going to take to study, whether it's an hour a day or 2 hours a day, and stay consistent. Discipline yourself too. Every day at that time, you're going to learn how to code. And don't go away from it, because once you start slacking and you're thinking, well, I'll do it for a half hour today, or I'll just forget today and I'll do tomorrow, you're gonna get lazy and you're gonna start pushing it off more and more, and it's just gonna slow your learning progress. And I know that from experience. This is why even on the weekends I wake up early, because once I start slacking and I start sleeping in, I'm not gonna wake up early the other days and get the stuff done that I need, like recording content and doing other work. So create a schedule and stick to it 7 days a week. Do not skimp on that. That is probably one of the best tips that I can give you. Create a schedule. Number 3, so intense, right? Number 3 is learn one programming language at a time. When you first start in the coding world and you look around, you're like, wow, it's so beautiful. There's so many things that I can learn. I can learn how to code iPhone, I can do with Swift, I can do Android, I can learn JavaScript, I can learn PHP, I can learn Python. I'm gonna learn Python so that I can hack everybody. There's so many things that you can learn, but calm down a little bit, take a breather, and learn one language. One language at a time. Focus all your attention on that one language, and I guarantee that you will learn so much more than you would if you start allocating your time elsewhere. And I made that mistake when I first started to code. I was so excited. I learned JavaScript and I learned the basics of JavaScript, and I got confident. I was able to build stuff, and then I was thinking, well, you know what? I really want to learn Java. Java sounds cool too. So then I started allocating time to Java, which takes time from JavaScript. And instead of becoming really good at JavaScript, I was mediocre at Java and JavaScript. And I know the mindset that I had was the more languages I know, the more appealing I'm going to be to job prospects. And that definitely is not the case unless you're really good at both of those languages. So my advice is to stick with one language and get really, really good at it. And once you get really good at it, and then jump to a new language. And trust me, when you focus one time in one language, that doesn't take long. If you are really just dedicating time to one language, it goes really quick. It goes a lot quicker than you think. And you learn coding logic. Once you learn coding logic and you get advanced in that language, it's so much easier to transition into a new language and then learn that. And in your second language, you'll learn so much faster if you are really good at your first. So concentrate on just one language. Do not get code envy of other languages. Stick to one until you're great at it, and then go off and then venture and have that wandering eye that you want so bad. Number 4 goes along with number 3. Get really, really good at the basics. And I really think that you need to be really good at the whole language, so the advanced and all that, but really, really good at the basics. Because if you can't do basic things, then once you get into advanced techniques, you're gonna still be not an efficient coder. Because if you really pay attention to the basics, there are things that can help you and streamline your work, and functions, built-in functions that you can use on strings and all that good stuff. So get really good at the basics, because it will streamline your whole work and it will help you in the long run. Trust me on that. Do not skimp on the basics. They are there for a reason, and they are important. Tip number 5. This is an extremely important tip, something that I didn't realize right away, and I really wish I did. So listen up. Learn clean code. When you wake up in the morning, you should make your bed. And when you start coding, you should stick to clean code. It's the same principle. Discipline yourself to learn clean code really quick. Now, you're gonna wanna know the basics first, and you're gonna wanna be okay at the language, but once you are, make sure that you're writing clean code. I can't stress this enough. I made the mistake of writing spaghetti code, and I thought to myself, clean code will come later on. I just need to learn the language, and everything will be good. And the problem is, once you get to the point where you're looking for a job and you're trying to see, okay, well, what projects can I use for examples for this workplace that I want to pursue a job at. And so you're looking back in your GitHub repo, and you're looking at your projects, and you look at your code, and at this point you're going to be a better coder. So you're going to see that, wow, this is some really, really horrible code. I cannot use this for a job prospect. There's no way. So if you learn clean code really quickly after you start your basics, then any project that you build, no matter what it is, even if it's a small project, if they see that you have good coding style, you have good clean code, that it's going to be so much more appealing than just having 80 projects that are all spaghetti code. So I can't stress that enough. Learn clean code as quickly as possible. Number 6, don't learn too much in one sitting. I said this before with the schedule and the plan and really sticking to it, and I can't stress that enough. It's so easy to start a new course and then just fly through the material and do 18 modules in one sitting. And it's really easy to do because you get excited and you want to learn as much as possible. But the thing that you don't realize is once you start at module 5 and you're like, well, I'm going to crank through 20 of these. Once you get to 20, you're not going to remember what you did in module 5. Trust me, you're going to forget, and you can take notes. But if you're anything like me, you're not going to read the notes again. So if you really just pay attention and you do little at each sitting of study, and you really pound that material in, do a little bit, you study what you did, write some code to learn those principles, you're going to be so much better off than if you just watch the module and then jump into another one, watch that module and jump into another one. And you're going to learn, but you're not going to learn you're not going to learn well. You're not going to remember everything that you did. Trust me. Only do a little at a time and get really good at that little bit that you do, because if you do that, you're going to learn so much faster. It's going to be more efficient because you're not going to have to go back and look at what you did 10 modules ago because you wanted to jump through and do 18 modules in a day. So pace yourself, stick to that schedule, stick to that plan, and you'll be golden. And for the last tip, tip number 7, finish the entire course that you pick up, whether or the entire book, anything, no matter what it is that you're learning to code on, finish it. Don't jump to another course until you finish that first one. And that part is hard, and it's still hard to me today because I'm a developer, but I'm still learning, and I will always be learning because there's so much in the developing world, and technologies change and grow, and so you're always going to be learning. And I still find this hard, but I realize that if I really just discipline myself and I stick to one learning resource, I'm so much better off. And it's hard today because programming courses are a dime a dozen. You can find 18 free ones online, so you are jumping from course to course, and a lot of times you don't finish what you started, and I realize that is something that slows me down. So if I go from start to finish, whether I like it or not, it is definitely more helpful than jumping to course. So finish what you started. Don't just get halfway and then think that you know what you're talking about. These projects are really basic. I can do these with no problem. Still do them anyways, and just stay with the course. Don't veer off. Trust me, you'll be so much happier. Alright guys, that was 7 tips on surviving your very first programming language. And these are tips that were developed by me from the struggles that I had learning to code. It's a long road, and it's a good road though. At the end, you're gonna look back and you're gonna be proud and you're gonna be happy. Just keep these 7 tips in mind while you're studying, and implement them, and really think about the way that you're learning, because if you're strategic in the way that you're learning, you're gonna learn a lot more with less effort. So don't make things harder. Listen to these tips. If you're new to this channel, karate chop that subscribe button, flick that little bell, and kick that like button if you like this video. And thank you for checking me out on my very first Tuesday tips, and come back for a lot more where this came from. I will check you on the next one. Peace out.